So that brings me to our student representatives. No graduation would be complete without student representatives. And tonight is no exception. We have two valedictorian speakers. Our first one is Silvia Hernandez. She's from our Vancouver campus. She graduated at the top of her class in our MOA and HUC. See how cool that is when I use initials? But that stands for Medical Office Assistant and Health Unit Clerk. That's a very large diploma and a very hard course. She moved to Canada from El Salvador at age 23. And since then, she has had her ups and downs, just like all of us. But always she has pursued success, and she's reached for happiness. She has worked as a fitness instructor and a professional trainer at the same time as being a full-time student at the Academy of Learning College. After graduating, she got hired full-time in the physiotherapy field in a company called PT Health. We believe that Silvia has what it takes to succeed in all that she chooses to undertake. And now I would ask Silvia to come up here and share a few words about her experience. Silvia? Go slow, make it last. This is your time.
I'm going to try to talk pretty slow. Not really. Okay, hi everybody. Good evening and welcome to friends and family, faculty, staff, and graduates. Wow, we did it. We have arrived at our destination ready to take on any new challenges that may arise now that we are prepared for them. To quote one of the classic books that I personally really like about dreamers and challenges, Don Quixote, to be prepared is half the victory. In my opinion, the other half is using that preparation to reach the summit of what your goal is. And guess what? We are all there. Some of us may already have reached that summit and are looking down at the road we have traveled with a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction. Others are looking up at that short road left to travel with the finish line in sight with a sense of relief. No matter how or why you got here, be certain that your decisions have made this moment possible. My own experience is but one little minuscule fraction of the type of student that has come to Academy of Learning to advance or kick off their careers. I had to leave my home country of El Salvador in the middle of my university studies due to health issues. When I arrived back in Canada on my own as a 23-year-old, I had the mentality of most youngsters that I was immortal and I had all the time in the world to start my adult life. To the chagrin of my parents and my older sister and brother-in-law who took me in, thinking that I was here to get serious about studying and becoming a responsible adult, but instead couch surfed with them for months on end, trying to get my life together, but not really trying that hard. I want to take this moment to thank my sister and brother-in-law, who would normally be here today, but due to unforeseen circumstances could not make it, for being so patient with me and for being the support system through ups and downs, and a lot of times the reality check that I so badly needed to actually get my butt in gear and think about my future. To make this quite long and boring story short, debt, psychological stress, and the death of my dad first and my mom last year got in the way until I finally looked at my life and didn't like that in over 13 years I was not closer to being the responsible, contributing adult that I had set out to be when I left home. I had tried to live my life by the seat of my pants, not really planning out what I was going to do next, or where I was going to end up when I finally grew up, and just wishing and dreaming of a better life without putting that much effort into it. Just coasting from one job to the next, trying to make it seem like this is where I wanted to be, but not really feeling it. Let's face it, being an adult is hard. Very hard work. We all know this. having to go to work to pay bills, to pay your taxes, and for a lot of us, having to take care of a family, this is not an easy feat. In order to do all of that, you absolutely have to have a job and work. So when do you have time to even think about looking into having a better career? I finally started searching for better options when I had to take my old call center job back because I wasn't qualified to do anything else. And in my search, I found a few not so feasible possibilities for me. Mainly A, quit work to go back to school, and really try telling that to your landlord when you can't pay rent. Or B, working part-time and then going to school for a long time with set hours that are quite impossible to keep when you have an evening job or a family. Or C, be on a waiting list for over a year to get to take the courses that you need to take as prerequisites. I had to do that. That is when I came across the Academy of Learning. If you were to ask me what is so great about this school, I would have a very nice list of things, in not particular order, that make this school the essential part of why I am able to be standing here today delivering this speech to you. Number one, I could start at any time, meaning that no matter what day of the year it was, I could start studying right away without having to wait for a class to start, meaning that I could finish that much faster. Number two, the subjects you take are specifically what you will need. No prerequisites to take a required course to graduate. Number three, the flexibility of hours. As long as you get your work done and you complete the required amount of hours in a week, you can come as needed. Number four, they have cookies. Number five, they help you in your job search when you finish the program, which is an integral part of your career advancement. Number six, the facilitators and staff are patient, knowledgeable, and put on the best potlucks I've ever had the pleasure to participate in. Plus, they are super motivating and encouraging. They are there for your success. And I'd like to thank you all for that. I think that I am not alone in wanting to acknowledge you individually. Verna, Alan, and Stephen, you are always there to answer any questions and assisted in navigating through the programs. We had Peter Vu, who kept our systems and computers working and helped us with any IT issues. Peter Bordeaux, who works to get you that first interview that will lead you to the first job as a professional. And Luz Quiroz. Luz, she oversees this ship and keeps it sailing smoothly while still taking the time to meet with you and give you advice or even assistance, in my case, with bookkeeping questions. I personally want to also acknowledge MJ, who was my virtual instruction from Toronto. I believe that the MOA program is great because she's an awesome instructor. And this brings us to number 7. They truly prepare you for the real world life after school. And there you have it. After one short year, I'm very proud to be a part of the class of 2015. Throughout good and not so good moments, this past year has been quite a journey. And I am so happy to have taken that first step. My only regret is that I wish that I had taken one step sooner and given my parents a chance to see me succeed. But, in the immortal words of Frank Sinatra, in one of my favorite songs, I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn, and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, and I know one thing. Each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. And aren't you glad that you did? Any obstacles in my journey have made me the professional that I am today. And the way I see it, obstacles are there to be moved aside or jumped over. What is life without a little difficulty? I will take from a speech by the actor Antonio Banderas, who also quoted Don Quixote, who, with his dreamer and sometimes lucid mind, said, "As you are not experienced in the things of the world, all things that have some difficulty will seem impossible. Trust in time, which will offer sweet solutions to many sour difficulties." And as we're sitting here today, the result of one of those sweet solutions that was offered to us through one of the things that felt impossible, I think that we can safely say that it is time for us to bask in our accomplishments. I will conclude by asking you by commanding you to fight for your dreams, even if they seem impossible. Thank you.